Hello, hello. It's a wonderful day. It's a beautiful, beautiful day here. And I am in another state and I am in Orlando today. And I am so thankful to God for blessing me to be here today. And I'm by myself today. Flea is not feeling well and Eula is back at work. And but yet the show must go on, and they are praying and they are watching. And so as I prepare, I'm going to play our theme song. I will be right back.
I'd like to teach the whole world music. To sing a simple melody. To sing about all the joys and good times, yeah. You see, that's the way God meant for it to be. And if you don't like it, you don't have to sing. You don't have to sing my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to play. You don't have to play my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to sing. You don't have to sing my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to play my song. I'd love to sing a song for all the children. They are our future. Can you see? Take a little time out for the babies and teach them about love, hope, and prosperity. And if you don't like it, you don't have to sing my song. And if you don't like it, you don't have to play my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to sing my song. And if you don't like it, you don't have to play my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to sing my song. If you don't like it, you don't.
Dear God, as I sit before you to speak, I pray to you that my soul you will keep. And if I should die before I finish, I pray to you that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. And my topic today is I'm really asking the question, why does misery love company? And I am on a different uh, internet, what is it? Internet today, of course, you know that. And so I'm trying to pull it up. But misery loves company. And so we all have had experiences with people who are miserable and they really don't know they're miserable. It's just a way of life for them. And in the environment, in their of where they grew up or their surroundings or whatever. There are different things that they learned and different things that they experienced. And sometimes people really don't know really what state they're in until they get out of that environment and then they see something different. And some people really don't mean harm by some of the questions they ask and some of the things that they do, but they just don't know any better now. I'm grinning. Clee probably knows why I'm grinning, and if Erica's watching, she probably does too. When somebody said maybe he just doesn't know any better. So anyway, you got that, didn't you? So God is good to each and every one of us. So the phrase suggests that those who are unhappy seek to make others unhappy too. And sometimes it's just a way of life with people. And really, I'm serious. And you know, too, that some really don't know any better. And sometimes we want to pull people out of that realm of thinking. Sometimes you can help them, sometimes you can't. But then we have to acknowledge and have to fess up to the fact that we haven't always been where we are today in our thinking. And so we had to go out and up and above and beyond the realm that we were in order to learn other things. That's why people, the education that we get, schooling, the college, the studies, and all that we do, that's to give us a wide variety and choice of thinking and seeing the outside of, of the box. But some people are just inside a little box. They can't help it. It's no fault of their own, but they don't know. Some people don't realize that you have to get out, think outside, get outside of the box in order to learn other things. So it suggests that people who are miserable, if they're feeling one way and you're jolly and going on, and some people don't think you should be jolly when they're sad, but then there is the wisdom that we use also in the situation. Even though we can be jolly inside, we can also, depending on what the situation is, okay, we can empathize with the other person, but not neglect ourselves and our well-being, okay? So, and then the writer here is talking about misery loves company. He said, but I suspect it's not that the miserable person enjoys the company of other miserable people, but rather that the abstract state of misery enjoys the company of its own kind. We could not have said that any better, could we? We could not have said that any better. Hello to everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Now, misery loves company. Now, you know I'm going to psychology today. I like these sites because they really help us out. And this is a January 1st, 2003 article. It could come up. Okay, this internet is working really well. Really well. I can't see who's on here, but I'm so thankful because I know somebody's watching. Okay, this is this is an interview with Lisa Ling, and you remember Lisa Ling, that when The View started out, she was one of the hosts, the co-hosts on The View. Does misery love company, or does misery make company equally miserable? How about that? So psychologists have long pondered whether couples and close friends are depressed in tandem because one person's mood poisons the other well, or because people gravitate towards significant others with the same traits. And remember, we were talking when Clee and I were on the other day, and I was talking about when everybody could be in a room and everybody could be, having a good time. Most everybody appears to be having a wonderful time and mingling and doing whatever they're doing. And then a certain person comes into the room and just changes the whole atmosphere for the negative. This is talking about misery, okay? Misery. So it says in the first longitudinal comparison of mood in romantic partners and roommates, Chris Segrin, a professor of psychology and communications at the University of Arizona at Tucson, found that emotional tone is set at the starting gate. And if you think about it, just think about it, you'll realize this. It's set at the starting gate, okay? It's set at the starting gate. So he surveyed 15.3 dating couples and 170 pairs of roommates for 3 months. He concluded that women's emotional states, positive or negative, were unrelated to changes in their boyfriend's moods and vice versa. And that is, oh my goodness, let me go on with this. Moreover, couples that had been dating longer were no more likely to mirror each other's emotional states than were newly minted partners. I was surprised by how similar the partners' moods remained over time. I thought there'd be much more fluctuations, they Segrin, or Segrin, it could be Segrin. So there was evidence of short-lived emotional contagion. Remember, Cleester talked about contagious, the positive and the negative aspects of contagious or contagion, okay? So there was evidence of short-lived emotional contagion. Severely depressed subjects were more likely to have a roommate whose mood declined over a 6-week period than were less depressed subjects. But subjects cheered up noticeably when they spent time away from their miserable roommates. Emotional contagion doesn't last for weeks. It is more fleeting and transient, says Segrin, who thinks people believe otherwise because the idea that you catch emotions like you catch the flu is seductively simple and parsimonious. Parsimonious. Okay. Now, okay, while the study, parsimonious, either or. Okay, now, while this study focused on depressive moods, the Glenn's results were the same for people with sunny dispositions. Couples were as matched on positive effect as on negative effect. Happy people seek out happy people, and those who are down and out seek the same. And I want to tell you, you have to deal with people, and people, like I was saying in the beginning, sometimes people don't know any better. Sometimes they don't mean any harm. They really don't mean any harm. And you can listen to how they start their sentence, and you can hear what mood they're in when they say what they're going to say. And they can say, oh, I heard. And then you know some kind of summer thing is coming up, and they say, oh, I heard. See how different that is? It's the moods that people are in, and you can listen and you can find the cue as to what mood they're going to be in. And so I am going to go find another, a Misery Loves Company, and do that. And I'm not going to try to stay on here the whole hour today. I'm not going to try to do that, but I am going to give you what I feel that the Lord wants me to relay today. Just some things to think about. Point of view is here. We give our point of view, and you have a right to your point of view too. And that's what I tell people. You have a right to your point of view, and just people don't have to always agree with you, but just agree with the facts, what the facts are, and give people a chance. Listen to what people say, and sometimes you can get something positive out of negative people. If it's not, but to help yourself out, don't be like them. That's positive for you, okay? So how to avoid miserable friends, and we just have to make ourselves scarce. And I was thinking, people said, well, you did that, or you did that, or you did that. There's a difference in the tone of voice. There's a difference. And then however they start out, you can always reroute that conversation and turn it into the type of positive conversation that you want to have, or the positive event that you want it to be. So you have to listen for the cues, okay? And then if you know the person that's saying or relaying, and you know their personality, then you can shift it. And sometimes people don't know that you have shifted the atmosphere. But you have to be able to maneuver, and you have to be able to stick to your guns and make sure that it turns out in the positive way that you planned for it to turn out. Because some people can come in and rain on your parade and don't have any kind of remorse or anything. Misery loves company. So don't let misery catch you and capture you. Don't do that. So how did this phrase come up? And different people have different ideas of different things, and so that's why we have to study and dig deep on certain things. So misery loves company, and it says, who came up with the phrase misery loves company? And this is a December 2014 article here. It's a question, who came up with the phrase misery loves company? And even though before the phrase became popular or before the phrase came out, anybody could tell when misery loved company. They might not have phrased it like that, but they say, oh, every time she comes around, then things just go down. They just go on a downward spiral. So we've been noticing that all our lives, as long as we were old enough to know what's happening. So let me tell you this, I'm not going, like I said, I'm not going to, like some people say, I'm not going to belabor the time. And I don't believe in just talking to use time up. When I've said something that needs to be said, then it's time to move on to the next thing. So I want to encourage you today and I'm going back over many things, and I do this, live your life. Live it the best that you can. Enjoy this life that God has given you. Enjoy it to the fullest. Don't let people hinder you and keep you from enjoying your life. That's your life. Your life. Other people live their own lives. They want to live theirs, some want to live theirs, and they want to live yours too. But you are the only one who can really, really control your life. And sometimes we have to speak up, and sometimes we can take control of our lives without even having to say a word, by just doing things and taking back that control in every area in a subtle way. So whatever you do, always remember that, and I never ever leave God out of it, because people can say what they want, they can do what they want, they can instigate whatever kind of things they want to instigate. But one thing about it for sure is that God is in control of every one of us. He has a say-so over every millisecond of our lives. He gave us his lives. These lives, he wants us to prosper. He wants us to be in health as our souls prosper. He said, the scripture tells us that he won't withhold any good thing from us. And if our ways please him, he will give us the desires of our hearts. He will do that. So you take control. If you've lost control of your life, if you think you're being handled by someone else or something else, take that control back and live your life to the fullest. I can tell you about myself. I can talk about me. I believe in living my life to the fullest. I believe in being happy. I believe in spreading happiness and cheer to people. And I don't allow people to come into my space and make me miserable. because I have learned and to move around. And if I can't move around, or if it's my space, then somebody else got to move around. That's coming in and bringing in negativity and trying to rule my life and turn my life into the life that they want me to live for them. So the thing that we have to realize is that we are our own individual selves. God made each of us to be unique. One, there's only one of me and there's only one of you. And when that one of me is gone, there'll never be another one of me. On this earth, there'll never be another one of you. On this earth, we will never ever get this chance again to make the best of our lives. And so we have to keep that misery out of our lives. And if we're the ones that we realize, well, I'm the one spreading the misery, then revamp yourself. Ask God to make you all over again, give you a new frame of mind. He'll renew your mind. He'll renew it daily. He'll give you a new frame of mind. He'll give you positive thoughts. If you want to do positive things, if it's not anything, you know what, just go sit out in the yard. If you're in a duplex apartment or whatever, go sit on your patio, sit on your balcony, and just look at the wonders of the world. Look at what God has done. I am so amazed. Sometimes I just sit and look and think about all the beauty in the earth. The beauty in the earth, the beautiful world that God has made. This is still a beautiful world. It's still a great world. It's not the world that's bad. It's the people that God allowed to live in this world that make things go awry. And He made us, and then we just turn all kind of silly on Him. And yet He still allowed us, came down Himself to sacrifice Himself for us so we could have another chance, and not just in this life to live a good life, a happy life, not just in this life, but He made it possible for us after this life is over, after this natural body is gone back to the dust, or if we have to meet Him in the sky on Judgment Day, whichever. He made provisions that this soul inside of this body, the us inside of here, could live forever. He loves us so much, and He's given us that privilege. So you take the privilege. If you haven't, you take that privilege, you take that time, you take that honor, and revamp your life by the grace of God. Stop letting people come in and cause you misery, hurt, and pain. You have to remove yourself from that. And I'm not talking about something as drastic as taking yourself out of this world or anything like that. I'm not talking about anything like that. One thing I've learned in this, while living this life, and I've had to learn it more than once, is that you can get over just about any and everything. Every one of us, the most devastating thing in this life is for one of our loved ones, someone close to us, to transition into eternity. That means to die. But look, we're still here. We are still here. We're still going on. We're still living our lives. So now, if you're connected with someone who has taken over your life, taken over your thoughts, and many times it's not as easy as people seem to. Like I'm sitting here saying this, but I know it's not always easy to get away. I know it takes planning, and of course it takes prayer. And you have to be wise. You have to be wise in everything you do. You can't do a lot of talking. If you need to get out of a dangerous situation or whatever, I'm really talking about it, but you know I do this, okay? So if you need away from sometimes we talk too much. Sometimes we tell too much and then we're hindered because you tell people, what are you planning to do? Well, I'm going to leave you. Yeah. You just wait till you go to work. I'm going to leave you. Or you say, well, you're not treating me right. So I am going to leave you. I have someone else that loves you. Don't do that kind of stuff. Don't do that. Just be wise. Plan. Maneuver. Do what you have to do in order to be who you are. Misery loves company. Sometimes it's not intentional, but sometimes people are happy when other people are sad with them, are miserable with them. But then you have to take it, like I said, and turn it around into positivity and take and banish that misery. Change the whole conversation, change the whole atmosphere, and do it subtly. And then they won't say, well, I was so sad. And then she came in and she was just trying her best to make me happy. You can do it and have people talking and smiling and going on. And before you know it, they might not have forgotten, but all of that weight is just moving away for that time. So we have positive, there's so much that we can do. There is so much that we can do to help ourselves and others. We can do it. But can we do it if we're in that state ourselves? We have to first make sure that we are in that right in that area where we can help somebody else and tell them, you know, I've had some experiences in my life. And I believe that, you know, I might be able to help you in some areas. And then you don't have to verbally say that. Sometimes just being there will help a person, just being there. So be one of the ones that's there. And then you can read people and you know when is a time to go in and a time to come out. There's always a time for everything. And so God has given us the intuitions, he's gifted us, he's let us know. Sometimes we ignore these gifts and talents that he's given us where we can discern things and know when to do, when not to do, what to say, what not to say, when to say it, when not to say it, how to say it, how not to say it. He gives us all of that knowledge. And sometimes we're moving so fast till we can't hear and grasp everything he's telling us at that time. Sometimes we move too fast and too swiftly to hear what he's telling us. And sometimes we might do more harm than good. Be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Misery does love company, but don't let that misery get a hold of you. And then if you have that misery, don't put it off on others any longer. Help yourself. Help yourself. Seek help wherever you can find it, okay? And God will allow someone to come to you or you get someone that can help you. And we here on Point of View, we want to help as much as we can to bring that positivity into your life. And then if it's not you that needs it, then you can pass it on to someone else. You can do that. It's a wonderful day here in Orlando, Florida. And I did have a great trip down here. I enjoyed every mile and every minute. And of course, you know, I went through Kentwood and stayed with my sister and my nephew and nieces for a couple of days. And then I drove on down here to Orlando, Florida, where my children met me down here. And so we're just thankful and having a wonderful time in the Lord. Everything we do is based on what God allows us to do. And I am so happy about it. Thank you all for praying for me, for thinking about me. And don't forget, tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time, the Lighthouse Women's Ministry Association of America's second night of the Let the Women Speak revival will be on tonight. And it will be, the speakers are uh, First Lady Paula Smith of Love is the Key Church in the church is located in DeSoto. Pastor Fred Smith is the pastor who is, of course, when I say first lady, that means that she is his wife and first lady of the church. And Apostle Eula Washington from Houston, Texas. From Houston, Texas. I love you. Join us at 7 o'clock tonight. May the Lord, I pray that God will continually bless and keep each and every one of you. Thank you for your prayers. I'm praying for you. And I know you're continually praying for me. And remember, if you see my brand up here, when I did the video of, let me see. Oh, I'd love to teach the whole world music. I took that and I put lives matter because all lives matter to me. All lives matter to me. All lives matter to me. Not slighting any ethnic group, no races, no religious, anything. All lives matter to me. We are to pray for one another and have the best hope. And I'm not going to say the other word, but for everyone in our minds and pray for each one's happiness, prosperity in the name of Jesus. I love you. Enjoy your day. God willing, I'll see you tonight in the revival and next Tuesday. And hopefully Clee and Eula will be with me then. Enjoy your day. I love you so much. And I'm going to get out. The children are already going spying out the land. So they'll come back and get me and we'll be going around and around. Okay, love you.